Hola amigos, bien o no, y saludos desde Medellín. El tema de hoy es escuchar cosas que no le gusta. ¿Y por qué? Ese es el tema de hoy. So, the theme of the day, why it's important to listen to things that we don't like. Why? Well, really, it's a way of making the words we hear around us more intelligible, easier for us to understand. Because if we think about it, when we're working in our new and second language, the biggest problem we have is vocabulary. Because it's very hard for us to make up for the lost time that we've, all those years of study that we had in our other language, that we're trying to catch up now. So it's inevitable there's lots of gaps in our vocabulary. And where does this cause us problems? Well, often it's a question of knowing what we're listening to around us, whether it's meant for us. Is it something that we need to listen to? Is it something important? Or is it just, if you like, background noise, other things people are saying that are not actually perhaps critical for us to listen to? The problem becomes that a lot of the time things that are not important to us to listen to are things that we are really not interested in. So for this reason, it is actually important for us to make an effort to listen to things that we don't normally listen to, things that we're not normally interested in, not so we necessarily master the vocabulary because we're going to use that, because these could be topic areas that we just don't normally talk about because they're not things that we know a lot about or we find interesting. But it's so that we know that what we are listening to is about that. That's the difference. It's so that we can identify what the other people are talking about. Because otherwise we can be quite lost. We can hear occasional words but not sure, what are they talking about? Is that important? Do I need to know about this? Is this something I need to respond to? So for that reason alone, I would encourage you now and again to watch that extra segment on the news that you don't normally. So if you're completely lost with what's going on in economics or the business news, just leave that section on. If for you it's the sport or entertainment, leave that section on for a bit. Listen to that, because once you start hearing the vocabulary that is used to discuss those topic areas, even if this is something that you yourself are not interested in really, at least you then know when you're outside amongst normal people having their conversations, you know what they're talking about. It doesn't mean you need to be an expert, but at least you know what the general topic is, so you can then filter out things that you don't need to concentrate on. You can save yourself energy because you don't need to concentrate necessarily so hard on a conversation that's about a topic that you know nothing about or you're not really interested in. You can wait for the conversation to move to something that you find more interesting. But you need to be able to see, or at least to hear more correctly, that the conversation is on this topic and not another one. So for that reason, the wider you're reading or the wider you're listening is going to help you a lot, and a lot more than just focusing on your special topic. Because it's good to be an expert on that, for sure, because that's the thing that you like to talk about, that's the thing that people will ask you a lot of questions on, and it's good to start in one area where you're confident. But as well as that, remember that real conversations often are something of a filter. Lots of people around you, they're talking about other topics, things that perhaps you don't know anything about. But the idea is to be able to identify at least what are they talking about. So, okay, they're talking about the office party, or they're talking about what happened on the TV show last week. They're talking about their holiday. But at least you know what they're talking about, so you know whether it's something you should pay more attention to or whether you can relax and not worry about it. That's the idea. So there we go. That's my tip for the day. Try something a bit different, and don't be worried if it's something that normally you would just go, I'm not listening to that, come on, you know. It's not a translation exercise, it's just so you understand something a little more about the world that's out there, so you know which bits to take on board or which bits to avoid, if you wish. So I'll leave you with that. Déjame saber en los comentarios, como siempre. But for now, from Medellin, we'll say cheerio.